Yes, I had to do a little trick to keep it from feeding back. I connected it to a Bluetooth earpiece and then left the Bluetooth earpiece upstairs, and that way it didn't feed back. Because this program won't allow you to turn the volume completely off when you're in a meeting.
Oh.
So Brad's got a coffee, you got a tea. All right, I'm gonna give it like one more minute because I thought Becky and Bob were coming.
Oh, that sounds like someone has the corona. No, that's allergies. That's why I have the tea.
Spring allergies haven't been bugging me this year, but of course I haven't been outside very much.
Lee, did you enjoy that song I sent you yesterday?
Yeah, lots.
I
thought Marvin was going to join today, although I think he was late last time. And the brothers. Look at Safe getting all dudded up.
Just glad he's putting clothes on and not taking clothes off.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You want him to have no clothes.
Maybe with you.
Oh, Steve Burris from Georgia.
The audio and video is looking really good. The other day. How's everyone doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you, Safe?
Yeah, all right. Thank you.
Yeah. Kind of bored?
Huh?
Have you been kind of bored?
I had a lot of works to do, a lot of deadlines, so
Okay, well, you're all right.
fight or flight mode, so didn't have time to feel bored yet.
That's good.
All right, I want to get started with just kind of a little warm up, and if more people join in, then I'll have to step in and move them from the waiting room. Just reminders, if you've got background noise, kids or something, make sure you mute your microphone because it'll be bouncing back and forth. You can double click on this or overhead or whatever and just get that picture and it doesn't bounce back. Sometimes I'll ask if you can hear me. 2 thumbs up makes it easy for me to see on the screen. And if a big X is if I can't hear you. So thumbs up, thumbs down, I can't hardly tell from the size of the screen what's going on, but this is yes, this is no. All right. I'm going to continue just kind of, I want to go through kind of just some of the basic core requirements off to the corners. So I'll be going to the left side, to the right side. 45 degrees is fine. That means by going 45 degrees, you can still kind of see the screen in front of you. You know, obviously you could practice all these going any degree you want or whatever. But just for particularly this location, we're just going to do run through a bunch of reps get kind of warmed up, going off at our 45-degree angle. So Chad wasn't here, but everybody else has been here the last 1 or 2 times. Remember, if you're doing lead hand, that shoulder's already forward, so a back stance is fine. If I'm having you do cross or like a double, then that shoulder is back. So you want to go into an hourglass. Somebody else just showed up. Oh, it's Marvin. Hey, Marvin. We're just talking. We're getting ready to go and just do some standard strikes to the corners and whatnot. All right, so we're just going to start with single lead hand to the corner. All right, starting going to your left first. Ready, each, knee, song, sheep, go, raku, sichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Now I want you to do the backhand. So if you go to your left, you're going to have your right hand up. If you go to the right, you're going to have your left hand up, which means you need to equalize your shoulders. So you need to turn into an hourglass stance with your front heel pointing towards your back toe. All right. So going to our left with our right hand. Ready, each, knee, song, shi, go, raku, sichi, hachi, kyu, ju. All right. Now we're going to do doubles to the corner. So if I'm going left, this first one will be left hand up. If I'm going right, right hand will be up. All right. Ready, each, knee, song, shi, go, raku, sichi, hachi, kyu, ju. All right, now we're going to do the exact same thing, except it's going to be right hand up on the left side, left hand up on the right side. So we're going to go left first, right hand's on top, double forearm strikes. Ready, each. So make sure we're getting that hourglass to straighten our shoulders. Now I'm going right with the left on top. Knee, song, shi, go, raku, sichi, hachi, kyu, ju. All right. Now we're going to do face, head. So remember, you're going across your body and up. We're going to go to the left side with our left first. Ready, each. Right side with right. Knee, song, shi, go, raku, sichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Now we're going to go cross body. So I'm going to go to my left with my right up. My right shoulder's back. So I've got to do the hourglass. Here, I'll face you. So if I'm going like this, everything's tight. If I turn my heel, this is loosened up. I'm not tightening my pecs. I'm able to do what I need to do. All right. So we're going left with the right. Ready, each, knee, song, shi, go, raku, sichi, hachi, kyu, ju. All right, so that's basic single, double face, doing strong side and cross side. Now I'm going to start doing some little combinations. All right, so we're going to do these again, but I'm going to throw in a back fist in there, or high outside knuckle rake, we sometimes call it, but that back fist kind of motion. So what I'm going to have you do, you're still going to go to the two corners. I'm just turned 45 so that I can do this towards the camera real quick. But what I'm going to have you do is I want you to go, this is that straight motion with the arms. I'm going to turn and I'm going to do back fist with a cover motion and then bend my elbow. So back fist, so it looks like back fist inside out. So straight motion, windmill motion, okay? I'll be going back, inside, out. All right, so we're gonna do that to the two corners. So the left will be high first, and then the right will be high when we go to the right side. Okay, back fist, inside, out. Ready, each. Knee. Song. Shi. Go. Raku. Sichi. Hachi. Q. Ju. All right, fair enough. Actually, do 10 more, I'll call them, but I want to actually look at you. This is so hard as I'm turning, trying to see the screen. So do 10 more, and I'm going to call them. Ready, each. Knee. Song. Shi. Go. Raku. Sichi. Hachi. Q. Ju. All right. On those back fists, make sure when you impact that you're letting that wrist kind of go limp through the target. So instead of just hitting and bouncing off because your forearm and your hand has got a death grip, you're relaxed enough that you can impact and push through and then whip it around.
Can you do it one more time slowly?
Say that again?
Can you do it one more time slowly?
Just from just showing the hand or the whole thing?
The whole thing, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to off center. Let me get back where you can see my whole body. I'm off center and I'm going to go towards the camera. So that'll be 45 degrees for me. So I'm throwing both hands this direction, but that looks funny, right? Almost looks like a hanchi. But because my body turns, it then becomes perpendicular to my body. So I'm throwing that arm out, and this arm just comes up, does a little ellipse, because I'm doing that kake, that hidden strike in there. So it's back fist, hidden strike, and drop. For those that have done seison, this is kind of that seison motion minus the back fist, unless you're doing the technical application version, right? So I'm here, and it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You don't have to hit yourself. I'm just doing that so you can see the motion that's going on there. All right, so let's do 10 more of those. Exact same. Marvin's favorite phrase, same. Ready, each. Knee. Song. Shi. Go. Raku. Sichi. Hachi. Q. Ju. Everybody kind of getting that?
Yeah.
So lead hand is strong from a back stance. So now we're going to add something to it that forces us to have to change our stance. So we're going to do the same exact deal, but we're going to go back fist inside out. My right arm is back, and I want to punch with it. See how it's short? So I've got to move that front heel and point it towards my big toe. I'll do it towards the camera. So I'm here. I go back stance, inside, out. Now my arm is too short to impact, so I let my heel turn towards my big toe. And when I do that, my shoulder comes forward and I can punch. All right? So here we go. We're going to do back fist, inside, out, punch. 4 moves, 2 stances. All right. Not counting the starting natural. All right. So each back fist in, out, punch. To the right. Ready, knee, back fist in, out, punch. San, back fist in, out, punch. Shi, back fist in, out, punch. Go, back fist in, out, change your foot, punch. Roku, back fist in, out, change your foot, punch. Sichi, Hachi, Q, and Ju. After a while of doing this, I'm kind of saying back fist, inside, out, punch. You should really think about that back fist and inside hitting almost simultaneous. It is back fist first, and then this one is right there in the grill. Pretty quick together. Ba-boom, ba-boom. So 1, 2, 1, 2, that kind of motion. It'll all be, a big blur once you practice it enough, but try to get it to where at least those first 2 are really quick together. Would Lisa be proud, Marvin? Because I'm saying ba-boom, ba-boom. Yeah. All right. I'm going to count it with you 10 more times and do it with you. And then I'm going to count another 10 and stare at you via the, what are you doing with your fingers there, Marvin? All right. Here we go. 10 more. Ready. Each. Don't forget that foot. Knee. Song. She. Go. Raku. Sichi. Hachi. Q. Ju. Now I'm going to come up and watch. Each. Knee. Song. She. Go. Roku. Sichi. Hachi. Q. Ju. So one of the big things that Taika talked about with that first reactionary deal is we don't want to bend our arms. So everybody except for Steve and Chad have had me record them doing our punch timing drills and measuring the arm and all this stuff. Typically, most humans, the average is your arm when it hangs, this is about 165-degree bend. Nobody is 180. People, when you're relaxed and just sitting down here, it's about 165. So when I go from here to here, well, I'll do it this side. When I go from here to here, I want to try to keep that 165 for my back fist. I don't want to bend, 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 straighten, straighten, straighten. That's two directions. I'm going this direction with my hand, and then I'm going this direction with my hand as I straighten it. So that's 2, 1, 2, and that's slow. If I can keep that about 165, and you really think about your shoulder when you whip that motion up to do your back fist, you're probably gonna, if you practice it enough, you should maybe go 165 to 160, you know, just little motions, but you don't want big motions because then that's two directions that you're going. You're going bent, straight. You just think about your hand going out to that back fist, okay? And then it's much, much quicker response. This is a reactionary move that's going out. And then this is setting you up for your follow-up techniques, your covers, etc. But that initial response is what we're looking for. So let's do another 10 count of that and really try to think about, relax that arm and don't let it bend up. Let your hands go forward by using this instead of your bicep. Don't let your bicep bend your hand and go out. All right? We cool? Get some thumbs up. All right. So again, we're going to do another 10 of those. Back fist. Don't let that arm bend until you get that cover in there, and then go. All right? So here we go. Ready, each. Knee. Song. She. Go. Raku. Sichi. Safe, it looks to me like you're going here first, like you're doing a single instead of going straight arm, then bend. So really think straight, straight, bend, straight, straight, bend, bend, straight. Okay? Resetting the count. Ready, each. Knee. Trinidad, are you hitting with the back of your hand? Are you hitting with the back of the hand? It almost looks like you're rolling over this way. Of course, we're dealing with, you know, graphics and pixelation and lost frames and stuff, but make sure you're thinking that full flat side with your back fist. I want to think, like if I had your tea cup, your coffee cup, I'm not spilling my coffee. I'm not letting my coffee fling out. I'm keeping it straight. Yes, there you go. Ready, each. Knee. San. She. Go. Raku. Sichi. Hachi. Q. Ju. Okay. Looking pretty good. Most of you, some of you, this is newer too, so you're gonna have to practice with it a little bit. But really think, like if I'm going to my left and doing this, the right hand is trying to chase and catch up. But because my shoulder's back, I only hit about here. I don't know if that is visible at all. So when I cover and do my hidden cover, my kake, I'm hitting right around, maybe the white side would probably be easier, but I'm hitting right around there. That's where the two muscles lay and that nerve group is. So if I'm in a back stance, my right hand is short, that should be about where it lands. And so both those hands, I'm trying to get them up close together. That backhand is going to be just a little bit retarded, kind of like me. All right. So we're going to continue on with this theme and just add some different stuff to it, right? So this isn't necessarily the way I'm building this is not necessarily a specific technique, but it's just drills to get you to understand your body a little bit and how you control the short end to make it long, that kind of stuff. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is the same deal. We're going to go off to our angle, do our back fist single drop, punch, and then I want you to come up, front snap kick, and land. All right. So all we're adding is a front snap kick, chasing the punch. So what I mean by that is it's not back fist inside out, punch, pause for 5 minutes, and then kick. It's as that heel rotates to do the punch. Can you see what it's doing to my knee? It's turning my knee in alignment with where my target is in front. So then I can just, it's aimed, I can go ahead and launch it, right? So you've probably been doing this when you're standing up just practicing kicks. You don't leave that foot straight and kick because your hips feel bound up. When you come up with your knee, your heel adjusts so that it unlocks your hips and then you snap. So the goal here is just to kind of get you to realize you've already been doing this body shifting, but now you're thinking about it a little bit more. So when you're doing it unconsciously, now you can start thinking about it and doing it when you need to do it. All right, so it'll be back fist, inside, out, adjust your stance with a punch, front snap kick, and then just let that punch hand wrap back around into a single. All right, and then reset back in your square or center. Ready, going to the left first, each. Now we're going to the right, knee. Song. Shi. Go. Roku. Sichi. Hachi. Q. Ju. All right. Making sure that's not, nope. That's our Arkansas group. For some reason, are having computer problems trying to get in. Just a reminder, because I've seen a couple of you, and again, it could be drop frames, but it looks like, trying to get where you can, if you bring your knee higher, you can see that line. Visual aid. I'm going to use this. If I bring my knee up high, that's where my toes should hit, right? So typically, we kick lower, below the waist. So my knee should not be coming up above my waist unless I'm planning on kicking above the waist. And most of us are too old to do that anymore. I don't know, that Trinidad and Safe, those guys may be able. So what happens is if you lift your leg too high like this, and then you're trying to kick, what you end up with, instead of this snapping straight, you end up with this heel kick. Your heel is going down, and you end up with your foot at a right angle down there. So you want, only bring your knee up. Don't have, I need a bad guy. That's about where I want to kick, knee height, and I can straighten that leg and push. And can you see the angle of my foot? It's pushing out. It's not an L. It's at an angle. So that pushes my kinetic energy straight into what I'm trying to kick. Instead of, if I go up high, I'm too high, this would be about solar plexus height for somebody, if I was kicking somebody my height. If I was kicking Steve, it would probably be in the groin. He's like Tony tall. But if you go up too high, then the thrust goes through your heel, which is fine if you're doing a heel kick, but a front snap kick, the kinetic energy should be going forward. All right? So let's do that again and try to make sure we're kicking the right height for our body, for our flexibility. Hey, Brad's got a new key. And not trying to go too high that we turn this from a front snap into a heel kick. All right, so we're gonna do this again. Starting to lose my voice. All right, so back fist, inside out, punch, kick. Front snap kick. So you're kicking with a ball. If you got shoes on, you're kicking with the toes. All right. Ready, each. Knee. Song. She. Go. Roku. Siki. Hachi. Ku. Ju. Ich. Ni. Song. She. Go. Roku. Sichi. Hachi. Q. Ju. All right, that's looking much better. All right, we're gonna do something similar but different. So we're gonna do what I started to do Wednesday, and then the technology fought us, and we didn't quite get to do the fun stuff. I had to do it so close to the deal that you couldn't really see what I was doing. So what I want to do now is we were going forward and forward as we did this. Now what I'm going to do is I want to do this off of the float drill. So I want to go, I'll just start and we'll just go one direction. But I want you to pin your right knee in. So your right knee comes in and the weight comes off your left heel. And so you're gonna do the same kind of deal, but you're gonna push back at the left angle. All right? So when we do that, we're gonna pin, float, and then we're gonna go out. But this time, we're gonna go clockwise. So before we went back fist, right, left. Now we're gonna go back fist, left, right. So we're only going to go like you did when you went to the right side. Does that make sense? All right. So I am still going to my right 45 instead of stepping forward and doing this. I'm retreating, but I'm doing the float drill with it. So we'll only just go retreat to our left for now. We'll do like 10 of those and see how everybody does, and then we can do 10 of the others. All right. That did help, Trinidad. All right. So pin your right knee, float your left. You're going to back this with your right. Ready, each. That extra step was because my tape was coming off. All right. So pin, float, knee. Pin, float, song. Pin, float, she. Pin, float, go. Pin float, roku. Pin float, sichi. Pin float, hachi. Pin float, Q. Pin float, Ju. All right, that actually looked pretty good. So you can go forward angles, you can go side angles, and you can go retreat angles at 45s. The hardest one to do is to go back and do it, which we won't get into that. Taika had a little trick to make that more efficient. But now, so we're going to pin with the left, float our right, and go back at this angle with a left, inside, out, change your stance, punch, kick, wrap. Okay? So we'll be stepping back to the right 10 times. So pin left, float right. Ready, each. Pin left, float right, knee. Pin left, float right, song. Pin left, float right, yon. Pin left, float right, go. Pin left, float right, roku. Pin left, float right, sichi. Pin left, float right, hachi. Pin left, float right, Q. Pin left, float right, Ju. All right, that's actually looking pretty good. So now I want to start trying to get you to think about constructing a technique. All right, so I want you to start thinking about visualizing your opponent. We'll just go to the left to help facilitate that. So imagine your doppelganger, your person in front of you that's your size. Their right arm is here, left arm is here, and they're coming out with a right punch. So you're going to pin and float, and I want you to think touch, back fist, single. Okay? So we've been doing that. We've been doing that motion this entire time. Pin, float, and I'm outside their arm, and then I can't reach them. Like here's Bob. Yep, okay, you can see it on screen. So if I pin and float and I come out, if his arm is right here, I'm in a back stance. I can't impact with that. But if I do that hourglass, then I can reach it. See how can you visualize that now? All right, so we're gonna do that. This time we're not gonna do the kick, but I want you to go from here and think double block. So now where's his arm? His arm was here. I did that motion, his arm is now past to here, and I can hit his neck with that left hand. So pin, float, I come up, I'm outside his arm, I open, and then I drop his arm down and come straight up to the neck. All right? So that's what we're doing. And I'll do it, I'll do it once just straight on. So I'm gonna pin and float, back fist, single. I've got to open my foot, and then this hand is just gonna whip his arm out of the way. But see, I'm not doing double blocks this way. I'm just continuing clockwise. And then I attack his neck. I go straight up into that neck. So pin, float, back fist. Then I'm at that single. Now I just do a double and go right into his neck. Visualization working? Everybody kind of got that?
No.
All right. Thought I heard somebody.
Need it one more time, really slow.
All right. So pin, float, back fist, inside, out. Continue around to a double, and then the top hand punches the neck.
Thank you.
And if you were real close, you might hammer fist it in, but if you had a little bit of range, you'd actually punch it. But I'm trying to give you some reasons for making those heel adjustments. All right? So we're just going to do the one side. All right? So pin, float, and each. Here, double punch. Okay? So pin, float, back fist, inside, out, clockwise double punch. Pin, float, back fist, inside, out, clockwise double punch. Pin, float, back fist inside, out, clockwise, punch. Okay? Ready? Right pin, left float, back fist, double, neck. Right pin, left float, back fist inside out, continue clockwise, left punch. Pin, float, right back fist, left in, right out, right carriages around down, left hand is up, left hand hits the neck. Okay? Ready, pin, float, back fist inside, out, carriage around, left hand goes up to the neck. All right, I'm gonna just call it out. Pin, float, back fist, inside, out, right hand around, left to the neck. Okay, that didn't go as planned. I'll come back here again and do a few more slow ones. All right, pin, float, right back fist, left inside, right single, right carriages around to a double, left punch. Okay, so. Yes, safe.
There is an option that you can mirror the video. Can you try that?
I couldn't quite hear you, Safe. Get next to the microphone.
There is an option to mirror your video. Is it possible to mirror the video so that you can just like look at you and do the same thing that you are doing? Is the option in the video that you can make it mirror? I'm just
I'm
throwing it
looking.
up. So choose virtual background. Let me see.
I am just not seeing any place for me to mirror that.
So you see the stop video option, and then there's an arrow. Go to the video setting, and then you'll see the mirror my video. Really,
I see it.
Is that better for everybody?
you can give it a try, see if that does any help.
Doesn't that make him talk
Is that
backwards?
better? Pin, float. Does that work? Better, worse. I got one worse,
It looks same.
one better.
Doesn't look like there was a change. Safe, was there a change?
Say that again.
Do you see a difference now?
So what I want to do is I want to follow along Lee as he's doing. So I was thinking like, I don't know. Let's give it a try. Lee, give it a try. See what happens.
Okay, let's just try it this way, and then you guys can outvote safe after a couple of reps. All right. Pin, float, right back this, left inside, right single, continue clockwise, punch left. All right. Now, when you punch, when you do that last punch to the neck, as I do this motion and I open with that, as I come around and I go to punch with that neck, does anybody feel like that's a little long? But it's kind of a stretch? Yeah, so if you take that as you punch, that back leg, and just let it slide with the punch, just a couple inches. Don't slide all the way up till your feet are touching. I don't know if the overhead view shows that very well, but I'm here. Maybe I need shorts on. And as I'm in this position, when I go up to punch, see, I'm not moving very far at all, but I'm adding just that little shuffle in. It's maybe inch to 2 inches. Obviously, height disparity. Steve and Marvin, being tall, are going to do a little bit more or less motion to get range. But if I was here and not able to reach him, simply moving an inch and a half, I can hit Bob, B-O-B, since the other Bob didn't show up today. All right, so I just wanted to add that. You know, we're trying to be conscious of how our legs feel, our knees feel, our hips feel as we're doing these different motions. So if you feel like you're coming up short, I guess Marvin, Tony, Steve, they got longer arms, so they may not need that. But me, I'm 5'6" and probably shrinking still. I'm gonna, as I come up to do that final punch, I'm gonna let that foot come in just a little bit to get extra range, all right? So if you feel, if you're doing these motions and something feels funny, Tycho would say, is it feel funny? Then fix. If it feels funny, fix it, all right? It's kind of the theme this month. I'm trying to get you to feel your body, understand your body, and how this is short, but that is long. If this is still short, then pulling that foot up is long again. All right, so we're going to continue this drill and do that same motion. All right, same exact thing. Pin, float, ready, back fist, inside, out. Clockwise, top hand punch. Okay. Pin, float, back fist, inside, out. Clockwise, punch. Pin, float, back fist, inside, out. Clockwise, punch. Are you guys starting to feel when you do that clockwise how your hips want to open?
Yes.
Naturally, as you're going to that motion, your hips want to move. So that heel is floating and allows you to move and throw that punch. All right? So a few more reps. Pin, float. Backside fist, inside out, clockwise, punch. Pin, float, back fist, inside out, clockwise, punch. Ready, pin, float, back fist, inside out, clockwise, punch. And I'm going to come up where I can see past the lights. Pin, float, back fist, inside out, clockwise, left punch. Ready, pin, float, right back fist, inside out, right clockwise, left punch. Okay, reset, pin, float, back fist, inside out, clockwise, punch. Reset. Ready, pin, float, back fist, inside out, clockwise, punch. Reset. Pin, float, right back fist, left inside, right outside, right down with windmill, left hand, punch, or back fist, or hammer fist, whatever you're visualizing in your head. That's the important thing about this is learning to visualize. You got to learn to imagine that opponent there. Very, very important. All right. Pin, float, back fist, inside, out, clockwise, punch. All right. So, I'm too old to do this. Got muscles that are cramping up for some reason. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a couple things to it. If you're still struggling with this first part, just stop at the punch. But I'm going to add some other stuff for the people that have been training a little bit longer. Center square. I feel like I'm on like Hollywood Squares. Brad's the center square to block. Yeah.
We need a Paul Lynn.
Yeah. Yes. And that's pretty much Brad, the smart ass. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to continue on and we're going to do this and we're just going to we're going to try to visualize and add a couple more moves, right? it's impossible to know what your opponent's going to do until you impact them. So we've got to use some imagination, right? So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just stick with this same opening deal. I'm going to pin and float. I'm going to do my back fist. I'm outside his arm. I go here. His arm is now outside my body. I'm inside it. I'm striking. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pivot my body the opposite direction. And see, I'm still going clockwise. And so I hit the neck, and his arm would be here on top of me, on top of my left. Okay, a lot of moves. Again, if you're not comfortable with the first part, just stick with doing that. But I'm going pin and float, back fist in, out, continuing clockwise. I hit his neck, and then this arm just slides down as I turn my body, and my left foot circles here. So I'm doing that motion. So footwork only would be pin, float, back, fist, inside, out. Clockwise, I'm going to that hourglass. I punch, and then that left foot, my right heel comes out, and my left foot just goes to that northwest line. So I'm going southwest, back fist inside out. As I do my hourglass and wagon her clockwise windmill, sort of say wagon wheel. I'm here, I punch. Now I just slide that arm down and my foot goes to that line. So you see my footwork, if you look at that, I'm just going from hourglass, I'm just changing the line. I was attacking along this line, now I'm attacking along that line. All right? A lot of steps, but just do as much as you feel you can do. You know, if you got to stop here, just stop there. All right? All right, so pin, float, right back fist, left inside, right single, clockwise, double, left punch, left hand slides down, right heel turns out, and I come up to the head, the neck again. Okay? Yeah, a lot of motions. Am I doing too much for webcams? I don't know. You got a comment, Brad?
Yeah, can you demonstrate what you're doing on Bob? B-O-B?
Yes. All right. So Bob's arm. I'm pin floating. I'm back fist on the outside of his arm, and I'm here. Now, I continue around with that windmill, so his arm is coming around through here to the outside of my body. I strike the neck, I slide down the inside, and I turn, and now I'm throwing that arm up. His arm is out here. I got a thumbs up. All right. Some of you have actually done this technique. At least Brad has, I'm pretty sure. All right. Forcing you to visualize, well, actually COVID-19 is forcing you to visualize. So something good may come out of this. We shall see. All right. So here I am again. Pin float, right back fist, left inside, right outside. Clockwise as you open your foot. Left hand to the neck. Left hand starts sliding down, right heel comes out, and right hand comes up on the inside and taps the neck. Get some nice relaxed wrist flipping into that neck. So the arm would be here, and then of course, you know, several techniques we can do from that position. Come up and do the frontal arm bar. It looks like you're air guitaring, Brad, not, yeah. All right. All right, so here we go again. Pin, float, right back fist, left in, right out. Continue clockwise as you open your foot. Left hand to the neck. Right heel comes out, left hand slides down the inside of their arm as the left foot moves forward, and we're back into a double, except that knuckles hitting the neck again. You can also hammer fist up here to the traps. That's a pretty good brachial stun right there as well. All right, so there's several options. I could be hitting the hammer fist, the bottom of my hand. I could be hitting full back. I could be rolling in. I could be coming in and extending in. There's a plethora of choices there. And it all just depends on where your hand is in relation to their body, how their body is moving. All right? So really start visualizing. Ready? Pin, float, right back fist, left inside, right outside, clockwise as we open the front heel. Left punch, left slides down the inside of their arm as I pivot out and up to their neck. Okay? So I kind of end up back stance or hourglass would be, hourglass is going to drop you, is going to lengthen your arm into their neck. Okay? All right. Pin, float, right back fist, left in, right out. Continue clockwise as you open the heel. Left hand to the neck, right heel out, slide down, double. So if you, I don't know if you've just got one view up or if you've got the overhead view up, but if you've got the overhead, you can see I'm ending up back stance, hourglass. So all that's back stance, that's hourglass, and then this may come up as well. But then when I go this direction, I'm ending up hourglass on that line. So I'm back, hourglass, hourglass. All right, one more time, and then we're gonna switch gears to some other stuff. All right, probably solo stuff. So knee in, float, right back fist, left inside, right outside, clockwise with the heel, punch, right heel out, slide down, double. All right, I'm gonna take a second to hydrate, and then what I wanna do is, we've been an hour and 15 minutes so far. What I wanna do is each little person, you can continue to work on that, or you can switch to a kata or whatever. So for this last 35, 40 minutes, what I want to do is you do what you need work on, and I will call on you and we can have one-on-ones, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we did with the first class. It worked out pretty well. So if you're working on Nahachi or whatever, I can critique those little things at that time period. All right, so I'm gonna get a drink. Whew. Talking too much. All right, Brady, I'm staring at you.
Aye. Trouble with this, with whenever we're going clockwise, I feel like I'm doing it wrong. In order to get just before the punch.
So you feel like you're doing the clockwise wrong?
Yeah, it's like I'm almost putting an extra step in there.
So you do your back fist inside out, and that hand that is up goes to your outside. So it's just to there. So you like went inside to out. Again, we're dealing with video here. Think about going outside your body, kind of like you do in Nahanchi when you do that motion. So go outside your body and around.
Okay, so that goes here. Left.
If so, if I'm here, what it looked like you were doing was coming here, and see, I don't affect that arm. But if that arm is outside me and I go around, if you think of it in that terms, I'm going clockwise. What it looks like to me is you were staying here and coming up on the outside.
And then the left hand is where I have problems. I actually end up with my left hand down.
So you're here.
Still my class.
This one goes down and the left just comes up. So my left arm, you've had Saison, you're here. If I take away that high arm, this one's just a little bit lower and it just comes up.
Okay, I was trying to make it do windmill stuff too.
Yeah, well, it is a little bit. It's when it comes up, there's just a smidgen of an arc to it. And it goes, there's a little bit of that inside motion to it.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, I can sit here and just go clockwise, clockwise, clockwise. But because I'm wanting to go up to the neck, I'm not going to continue that cycle. I'm going to come up. And so it drifts in just a little bit and then shoots up.
Okay. I was making it more complex than it needed to be.
You were thinking what?
I was making it more complex than it needed to be.
That's common.
Thank you.
All right, I'll go to the next window. Chad, you got any questions?
No, mostly I'm just taking it in today.
All right, I'll just let you.
I appreciate it though.
Yeah, we don't want that bottom right square to jump in and critique you.
I've been watching him.
All right, Hukari.
No, I don't have anything right now. I might run through Shiho Hoppo and see if I come up with any questions for you.
Okay, I'll let you do it. Safe has Pick and Mike off. I don't know if he's still there or not. But can everybody assume he's born May 8th, 1970? I'm just going out on a limb. Any questions, Safe?
Safe.
No
Maybe
question for now, Lee.
he went to the little boys' room or something. Trinidad, you got any questions?
No question for now.
I've still been working on that the Nahanchi footwork on the video you posted. And I'm starting to get a little smoother. I got to work on the footwork more. But I was wondering, when you do the strike with that where's the power coming from? Is it just from the square hips just going straight into the strike here, or
You're talking,
the this
you're
one?
talking this part?
Yeah.
Okay, the power is coming from your fall. So what you're doing is you pin. I'm in this position and I pin. And so when I take that leg out from under me, it forces all 130 pounds that direction. So if I'm sure I can still see it, if I'm here and I don't do it that way, if I put my weight on the left leg, kick, and come there, I'm setting my leg down and striking. I'm only striking with the arm. If I pin, now all 130 pounds, when I kick, it forces all 130 pounds into that. And I should impact, my hand should hit, I should match my femur. So when I'm in that horse stance, my femur is here. That's as far as I need to go for that. I don't want to go out here where it starts pulling my hip, right? So as I pin, kick, my hand impacts before my foot lands. If I go land here, then only, I'm not going to amputate, but I'm going to guess 15 pounds. I don't know. How much do you think my scrawny little arms weigh? They don't weigh very much. So I'm not going to get very much oomph into it. So the power comes from driving 130 pounds sideways. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
All right. I'm assuming Steve and Missy have no questions. And Marvin has no questions.
Hey, I got a quick question, Lee. Looks like you tapped into Saison and Four Corners and let's see, one other thing here for all these exercises. It's really great. Thank you. I hope everybody else can see the correlation between all those.
Yeah, it was. It's basically Four Corners. It's all the like exercise 2. Saison, just several, and even you think about Nahanchi where you come up there.
Yeah.
Well, we're in that double and coming up. The only thing that's different is I'm not putting my arm in my armpit.
Well done on it.
Oh, thank you.
We'll need to get Chad to adjust his camera because even from this position, he looks like he's leaning over. And I know it's a low angle, but he may be watching this himself on the
he needs
screen
some
or
light
watching the
on
screen.
coming off the screen. All you see is a
he's
silhouette. It's like the end of
shadow.
tape 13, or the end of tape 12 where Tycho's in the background and silhouette doing it.
Yeah, and now. Yeah.
And now a preview from volume 12. All right. I guess I'll go back up to Sir Brady and watch him for a little bit in his Rolling Stone shirt. Sir Brady?
Yes.
45s on your hands instead of the Rocky Levitt, John Newton 90. Yeah, Brady trained with Rocky Levitt and John Newton. And we hold it against him.
Yes, you do.
So I'm hurting my neck, Marvin, because I'm wearing bifocals and I keep tilting my head. So I'm lifting my bifocals up so it stops hurting my head.
Yes, I see there was quite an interesting discussion on twisting by MPA
Yes.
that you posted. Oh my God.
Yeah. So for everybody else's reference, there's a guy on the internet that never once trained with Taika, but he keeps getting on. Somebody will ask a question about Taika, and I'll answer the question. And then Michael Paul Anderson will get on and tell everybody that I'm full of crap, I'm wrong. And he never even trained with Taika once in his life. But he trains with somebody that was kicked out of the association a decade ago. So he knows better than somebody that trained with Taika all the way up to his dad.
Just tell him to keep it hip.
All right. Did you have a question on Shiho there, Brad?
Yeah.
I had kind of a response to that whole thing and just kind of go ask them about their background, how long they've trained, when they trained.
All right. What's your question, Brad?
The throws, kick, throw, kick. 1, 2. I'm going that way, but I don't remember the transition. Is it left foot just comes around?
Oh. All right. Let's see. Where are we?
We've just done all of these. Throw, kick. Throw, kick. 1, 2. And then I'm going to go around to my
so
cut the ball.
you're here. Okay. So the Kusanku wrap, is that what you're talking about? So you did the Pasais, and then you Kusanku here, tap. At the end of the kata, is that where you're at?
Yeah.
So yeah, you do.
So I got to make that turn. I just don't remember how to make that turn there.
Yeah, so I'll do it facing this way. So you kind of go off of that angle, and then your left hand backhands. It's an open back. It's like a back fist, but it's open. So you're here, and then you scoop up, and it's just like Kusanku, right?
Oh, see, I'm ending up with my left foot forward. For the
And
rotation.
with the Kusanku,
Yeah.
yeah, it's your left foot should be forward. And then this comes up, right taps on it. Now your right foot goes clockwise.
Oh, no, I meant like right before that. Right before that turn, I'm ending up with I should be right foot forward. So I'm ending up here instead of here to where I can turn around. You picking up what I'm laying down?
So when you come out of that, your left foot is hourglass here, here, and then you take one right step to there, and then
That's it right there. I'm missing
That
the right
it?
step.
Yeah. So there's actually 3 of these kind of motions.
Okay. I
So
was doing 2.
you do the right, left, and then you do
And then do
one
one
more
more.
right, and then come to there. Does that get you good?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're so enthused.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anything else on SHO?
Yeah.
Battleship 8 SS Ho?
Here, I'll start this way, but after the rat, I do a kick, and then this motion. I can't remember exactly what I'm supposed to do with my arms before I drop them.
All right. So remember your box and don't go outside that box.
What I want. Okay.
The dot, this box. So when you, I don't know if you're on the first one or the second one, but when you spin around, you're here. See, I'm staying in that box, and doing that motion. So it's right on top, left on top, right, left. So left's on the outside, and then my heel comes up and drops as I kick. And then it's over the top, like the end of Nisei Shi and Seisan.
I just blew up your picture. Can you do it one more time for me, please?
Can I what?
I just blew up your picture. Can you do it one more time for me?
Yes.
I had it on the gallery view. Sorry. So I was
Gotcha.
looking at.
Close up.
I was squishing your head like a bug.
So right on top, left on top, right around barrel, left around the barrel, heels up, heel drops, kicks, and it's right hand on top, right hand on top.
So it's right down, then left down.
Yes.
Okay, I was doing left down, then right down. So right, left.
Right on top, left on top, right to the barrel, left to the barrel. Fling, here, draw, left side of the box, right side of the box, left side of the box, up. Got a thumbs up. All right. Guess we lost Safe.
Oh,
All right, Trinidad, it's your turn. You got any questions?
The kick we were doing earlier, you're all kicking with the heel of the foot like usual, right? I mean the ball of the foot, excuse me, right?
Ball, yeah. And so you're like, if that's your foot, it should be down at an angle. If that makes sense. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So traditionally, everybody trained barefoot, right? And in this dojo, I give everybody the option. I don't care if you wear shoes or not. At headquarters, when we trained with Taika, he told us to wear shoes. Now, some people didn't, but for the most part, we all wore shoes. Taika was pretty adamant that it was a pretty big long shot that you would get in a fight in Missouri on a beach. So he was like, you know, you're not gonna fight with your shoes off. So practicing that for the sake of being traditional, it is kind of silly in today's day and age. He would say, you know, back when they wore the little clog shoes, if you got in a fight, you just flipped your shoes off and, you know, went on. But unless you're Steve Burris, you don't wear sandals. I don't know if he's been on mute and video off the entire deal. So don't know. If
We must be talking about toe kicks.
Well, we're talking just kicks in general. Yeah, when I first started learning, we had in this art, the old dojo that was Mike Waddell's up in Gladstone had concrete walls. It was a basement. And you'd sit there and practice. Waddell would have you curl your toes up and kick the concrete wall with the bottom of your foot, you know, the ball of your foot. And that's kind of the traditional way of kicking. If you got shoes on, it doesn't matter. You can curl your foot as much as you want, and that shoe's there. So your shoe is there, and your toes aren't going to kick up. You're probably going to just kick with the end of your foot. But if you have your foot in that straight 90 instead of this way, your kinetic energy goes through the heel, or it goes straight up, depending on how you kick. If you push the ball out, I think of pushing the ball out, whether I'm wearing shoes or not, and the kinetic energy is going to go into my target. So we'll actually talk more, hopefully next month when everybody's back, because there's a lot of, Taika would, same thing. I think you, on your first class, I talked about, I hit you in the belly a couple of times, redirection.
Yeah.
Taika did redirected strikes, 3-dimensional strikes with his feet as well.
Oh, okay.
So you had Saison, right?
Yeah.
With Josh? Okay.
Yeah.
So in Saison, you do this kick where you come up and you go that way, right? And everybody thinks you're hitting either with the bottom or the side of your foot, which is fine. But Taika would come up in that same motion. You see how my foot's like pointed at a 45 and then you thrust? Well, Taika would kick, and as he thrust, he's kicking with his toes. As he thrust, it changes the angle. So instead of their leg just doing this, their leg, because he did that thrust kick, but it was actually the toes going through, their leg ends up going up and back because of that. So we'll get more into that later.
Wow.
Every attack Taika did was 3-dimensional. It didn't matter if he was using his feet, he was using his knees, elbows, whatever. If he came down on you with an elbow, he would come down and out, down and in. He would always do 3D motion. So same with those kicks, and we'll get more into that. That's really kind of hard to do on a 2-dimensional platform.
When you mentioned the concrete wall story earlier,
yeah,
you mean like they were hitting it as hard as you can, or that was just you're just kind of hitting it to learn?
We weren't hitting it as hard as we can. That'd be a good way to. It's self-correcting, as we like to say. You do it.
That's
once,
where we had the toe bags.
Yeah. Taika would even kind of twist his big toe over the first toe and kick with just the big toe. And he would penetrate, and then if you think of this as my foot, if it penetrates and then goes, the heel swivels, then it's changing direction of the kinetic energy as it goes into the target. So he would kick you in that spot just on the inside above your knee and do that swivel, and your leg would, it just hurt like hell, and your leg would come almost, it would come up behind you almost waist high when he kicked, where
so
it didn't look like he's going that direction.
On top of the big toe like that, or?
I don't know if you can see that or not, but
Oh, okay.
that kind of motion,
Oh, okay.
right?
Wow.
Yeah.
So I had the impression that he never did. He didn't emphasize a lot of stuff like Goju Ryu, like a lot of hitting hard things or anything like that.
No. The kick in the concrete wall was just to get us. We would do it light, and if you made a mistake, it still hurt, but it didn't break your toes. So Taika would have us punch the concrete walls at the church he trained at for these exercises, but he never had us do it hard. It was a drill to work on body placement. right? Did you do Pasai?
No, he only liked Naihanchi and Seisan. That's all he liked at the time.
Okay, it just seems so strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's this distancing drill that we did with Taika where we used a wall. Marvin and I loved it. But basically, he'd have you get back to where you couldn't reach the wall. And then he'd have you do a trick with your knee, a trick with your heel, and then you could hit it. But if I was completely relaxed, flat-footed, I missed it. But if I pinch my knee, then, and so we do these range targets drills, and part of that was learning to know your range, because if you didn't know your range, you didn't know how much you were gonna lengthen your arm on your punch by moving your knee an inch in. If you didn't learn that, then you either came up short and missed, or you over-penetrated and it hurt. So Marvin and I, Lisa, and all the other people there at headquarters got to really learn our range really well because we had a concrete wall there. And if you over-penetrated, it didn't feel very good. He was very big. He talked about, even in his book, I don't know if you bought his book, but he talked about in his book that Makiwara training was not any good. It was only good for one thing, and that was weeding out the butt heads. What do you call them, Marvin? It wasn't butt heads. It was something head.
Hothead.
What do you call Bob all the time?
Oh boy. Potato head, yeah.
But he came out with all these different things. Everything ended with head. Potato head. Can't remember.
Hey, Lee, we had a kotai at one of the dojos that was used for conditioning, but as soon as I got there, Taika said, don't do. People get arthritis from over conditioning hard style. And he said, people can't toughen up their face, their groin, their femoral area. So no need, you know.
Yeah, he was.
So,
he mentioned it in his book that it's people that work really hard on Makiwara and other heavy conditioning things. They're thinking about the art in what Taika would say is the wrong way. They're thinking about getting power from muscles. And so Taika didn't want to get power from muscles. He wanted to get power from the alignment of the body, the angle of attack. So, you know, knowing that this angle is more vulnerable than straight, you know, and you can figure a lot of that. Taika would talk about, you know, you can sit here and hit yourself sideways, hit yourself at an angle, and figure out your angles of attack, right? There's every point. In fact, there's a scroll where he's got a picture, an anatomical picture of a person with little arrows going different directions. He was very big on, it's all angles and structure. You want to hit them at the proper angle where the muscles are the weakest, or whatever structure's in there, you know, muscles, tendons, whatever. You want to be able to get in and penetrate those. Certain angles, it's hard to penetrate. Certain angles, things line up. And then your body wants to be primarily like, you know, I talk about that 90 degree. If I'm impacting something hard and trying to put kinetic energy into it, I need to be impacting at a good solid structure. So 90 degrees. If I'm just swatting something away, like this motion and then a back fist, so this doesn't need to be at that 90 degree. Although if you look at the upper arm is 90 degrees from my body. But the power hand needs to be at that 90 degrees, or roughly, you know.
Yeah.
If you're at 89 degrees, it's probably not going to make the technique fail. But that's the whole deal. He was very much into kind of the science of it. Even though I don't think he really considered himself a scientist, I think we all really considered him a scientist. He analyzed everything. He would go to the shopping mall with his wife, and she'd go in, you know, shopping, and he'd just sit out and watch how people walked. Or he'd go to the airport and sit, and he would analyze people. He was very much a scientist, in my opinion. So I went off on kind of a rabbit hole there, but does that answer the questions or cloud it more?
That's pretty cool. It's different, but it reminded me back in the AKK Kempo days, people would sometimes kind of talk like about the science of Kempo, but I always felt like they were like exaggerating it back then. And this is a little more nuanced.
All righty. We'll continue on down. Brady, you got it?
I'm just working on what we've been working on, just trying to refine my little bits and pieces.
All right. Brad, your head is sitting there by the camera. You got a question? Nope. You're just going to stare. All right. Well, I'll just watch my worker bees over here. So Brady, I have a tip for you.
Yes.
Train with pencils. You know what I mean by that?
I do.
Yeah. If you train with pencils sticking out of your hands, then you'll notice if you're at a vertical fist, a 90, or at a 45, or whatever that is. Paintbrushes?
Paintbrushes.
Okay. Yeah. I truly think that's one of your biggest humps, having come from John Newton, is, do you feel that when you do it though? Hey, Brady, look. If I'm at a 45, my pecs, all this structure up here is relaxed. As I start going into there, my elbow has to come in, and I get tight back here, and I get tight right up here at the head, the connection point of my bicep.
Yeah, I know the philosophy. I just can't tell whenever I'm not paying attention, I just go back to old habits.
Yeah, well, that's why I think if you had a pencil or something in your hand, or paintbrush, whatever, it makes you think that something's in your hand. Why is something in my hand? Oh, because I'm working on trying to keep this at a 45 or keep this at a vertical fist. So I found that training aid really helps. Somebody's phone's ringing. I assume that's somebody's phone and not something in this application. Yeah, it's Marvin's phone. Trinidad's trying out the wall thing.
So with this maneuver that we've been doing, I don't know what you call it, but when I first bring up my hands, should both my hands be parallel like this or like this?
You talking the initial back fist?
Yeah, like this and like this. Oh, I see.
So I'm going out with a back fist, and the chase hand just kind of comes over. So they're both going kind of straight, and then this one just, you can feel it in your body that this one's not going to be long enough because that left arm is back, or right arm, whichever, if you're mirroring me. So it kind of loses the race and just lands right where that nerve point is that we love to strike on Brad. And then that rotates. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. And Brad, you have not started Nahanchi TA, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So we actually do this motion in the technical application of Nahanchi. That kind of motion is in the technical application version of Nahanchi, but it's also, we've had you do that initial cover numerous times in various techniques. So this little drill is just, you know, I'm trying to come up with drills that we can do without a body. You know, Brad's got a dog, but yeah, his dog's gonna want to bite. So
I mean, kids and wife won't let me practice on them.
yeah, that's just wrong. That's un-American. You okay there, Brad?
Yeah.
So you could practice that toe kick on your mattress there, Trinidad.
All right, I'm gonna jump off here, Lee. I'll talk to you later.
All right, take care, Brad.
Bye.
Good to see you. Wow. So the typical kick that he did that with was what we call the inside roundhouse, Trinidad.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you did that with Josh or anybody else. I kind of call it, hold on, I need a prop. I'm pigeon-toed, so it's kind of hard for me to demo it. But the inside roundhouse comes up and out. And of course, normally that foot would lay more flat, but I've got a hip dysplasia thing from a childhood injury. But that's typically, he would do that, he would make that curve kick, and this is that spot right here where he'd hit that big toe, right on the inside, right above the knee. And he would do that kick. So very commonly, he might be standing there and somebody would punch or whatever, and he would do that motion as he covered, and then boom, he's got you in an arm bar like this because your leg went flying out behind you.
My left toe, I can kind of do the maneuver, but my right toe is like, it does not think that way.
Yeah. It's definitely, you know, it's like, I remember, I haven't practiced it in years because I'm never barefoot in real life outside of my home. If there was a home invader, I guess I would probably be barefoot and would have the ability to toe kick him, but I'm probably going to go for the Glock in that situation. All right, about 5 minutes left. So any questions, rifle them off. If not, I'll just keep watching you. Do whatever you're doing.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to head out.
Okay, take care, Trinidad.
See you next Saturday.
All right.
Hey, Lee, just got a call from Chad. He really enjoyed it.
Okay, cool.
It was very cool. I told him, I said, adjust your lights so we can see what you're doing. And he goes, well, the kids were playing Xbox in the back. And then I said, that's okay. We'll ignore them. But yeah, he was really excited about that and can't wait for next class and get together and work with this stuff. So very cool. Hey, quick question. What t-shirt size you wear? Medium?
I prefer normally large
Large?
because of CCW.
Oh, okay.
I like it a little bit baggier so I can hide the gun.
I got a friend that's on a barbecue team and he's gonna get me his t-shirt. I'll get you one.
Oh, okay.
It's called the Pork Side.
The pork side. All right.
Yeah, a little play with the Star Wars dark side.
Oh, gotcha.
All right, I'm gonna go. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
I think it's just Brady left and the Voyeur Burris family. Every time somebody leaves, you get bigger.
Keep an eye on my hands. I keep finding myself in 45s, but in the opposite 45. So I'll find myself doing this instead of that. I don't know if I'm doing it right or not.
So the beginning of the drill that we mainly work on today is vertical fist, and then 45 this way,
Oh, okay.
pinky down, and then 45 with the pinky down
So we do a vertical. Okay.
on the inside. So vertical, 45, 45. Now, so your top hand was almost 90.
This one here?
Yeah, I assume that's your right. So that's vertical. That's
Yep.
correct. Then that needs to turn in just a little bit more when you bend your arm. So it should be 45 degrees that way. If you go, you should naturally feel, when I'm at 45, I guess I got to back up a little. When I'm at 45, that should feel comfortable. Anywhere from this 90-degree arc, 45 here, vertical fist, 45 should feel natural. When you start going past 45, that elbow comes in, this feels tight, this feels tight. All this muscle and this back here. So you want to keep that at a 45-degree angle. This was actually one of Taika's biggest pet peeves with black belts that came and trained at headquarters that had trained, elsewhere before. And you look at Taika's 1968 video, and a lot of his blocks are this way, but he said that was too tight. So he wanted it at 45. So there was one person in particular, every single class, he yelled at them and they never ever changed it. So they got yelled at every class because that was not at a 45. So straight 45.
I just said I get yelled at every class too.
I'm much kinder than Taika was. It would be a pretty big ass chewing and a lot of times some nerve strikes when you did stuff. I guess I could start doing belly punches with your condition.
Oh, that'd be really nice, yeah.
Just make sure your head's pointed towards Brad or something when I do it.
No, you don't want to know what kind of an odor comes out after that.
All right, dude, it's 12 o'clock. I'm gonna go ahead and call it and go do
Thank you.
family stuff.
This went a lot better than last time, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm actually, I booted this computer in Linux because Windows bloated the bandwidth down, Windows and antivirus. So I almost tripled my bandwidth just by booting to Linux. It's crazy. All right, dude. It's good to see you. We'll see you at the next one.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Steve and Missy, if you're even there.